Right, this is the iPhone 5S, released in 2013, but is it still usable in 2025? Let's have a look. This box already feels like a little time machine. It's nice to see Apple stuck with a cardboard box over the 5C's plastic one with that satisfying slow lid. Inside, the layout is classic, phone right on top, the manuals, the plug, lightning cable, and the earpods. Not wireless, not noise cancelling, just wired. But the real upgrade over the iPhone 5C? This design. The 5S went full metal, aluminium and glass, flat sides, and a build that still feels solid today. However, it is basically the same as the iPhone 5. It's got a 4-inch screen, which felt big in the day, but now it's almost toy-sized. That said, it's pocketable and the last small phone before the first size change. It was also the first iPhone with Touch ID, with that signature metal ring around the home button. It's kind of refreshing to see, to be honest. Let's fire it up, set it up, and see what experience the iPhone 5S gives us in the modern world. So, the iPhone 5S runs iOS 12.5.7, which was the final version Apple released for it. And surprisingly, it still feels quite snappy in some places, until you try to actually do, well, anything. The animations are smooth, the menus respond fine, but it's basically a stripped down version of iOS. No widgets, no app library, and definitely no dark mode. App support? Pretty much gone. Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, none of them download. They might tell you to update, which of course, you can't. However, TikTok did download, but once it downloaded though, it kept glitching and you couldn't use it at all. The alternative is using social media with Safari, and at least with YouTube, you could still watch videos through the browser. And at least that's something, so you could be watching this video on your 5S. But for other social medias like TikTok, again, they just didn't work, even on the browser. Web browsing with Safari is okay. I only really tested it on Wikipedia, but it still looks fine to use, everything's nice and responsive. So yeah, for basic use, the OS runs, but don't expect real functionality in 2025. The phone's stuck in time. Next up, let's look at the camera. The iPhone 5S has an 8 megapixel rear camera, and back in 2013, this was pretty solid. It has many features to use, including the introduction of time lapses and slow-mo videos. Heading outside, in daylight it still holds up okay. The colours aren't terrible and it gets the job done for casual shots, but once you really look at it, you might be able to tell its age. Videos in daylight are about the same. Here's a video in the daylight. At night though, this is where it really falls apart. There's no night mode, just blur and praying for streetlights. But then you get to take in videos at night time, and here is one now. So yeah, you really kinda do need night mode. The front-facing camera is only 1.2 megapixels, so in good light you might get a usable selfie, but the camera is better for just FaceTime instead of taking selfies. So yeah, good enough for a quick memory, but in 2025, this camera is strictly for emergencies or nostalgia. So, can you actually use the iPhone 5S in 2025? Technically yes, but practically not really. Touch ID still works, and it's kind of satisfying. It's slower than modern day Face ID, but hey, it works. Texting and calling, no issues. iMessage is fine, and regular SMS still works as expected. It supports 3G and 4G, so you can make calls and browse the web, do everything you can with modern data. Streaming music, that's a no. Spotify, Apple Music, none of them are functional. Spotify won't download, and Apple Music gets you stuck on a loading screen. You're stuck with downloaded MP3s if you've still got any. Most games won't download either. The App Store is there, but it's a graveyard of incompatible versions. And with just 1GB of RAM, nothing really runs well anyway. I did manage to download Roblox and PUBG though. However, Roblox was stuck on an infinite load screen, and PUBG was just so glitched that I could not use it. This one's a 16GB model, which sounds bad already, but with system taking up so much space, you're left with around 11 to 12GB, and that is not enough for modern day use. And don't expect much from the battery, Even on standby, it will drain fast. If you're using it actively, it won't last more than a few hours. So yeah, it works technically, but a daily driver in 2025, not even close. So the iPhone 5S in 2025, what is it really? It's not usable as a daily phone anymore. The software's outdated, apps are basically extinct, the camera struggles, and the battery life is, well, not life at all. But despite all that, there's something cool about it. The design still looks sharp, the size refreshingly small, and it's got that satisfying weight that just feels right. You can see why they used this design for the first iPhone SE. So no, you shouldn't buy one of these in 2025, but if you've got one lying around, it makes for a great nostalgia piece. Something to remind you where smartphones came from. Leave in the comments which old phone you want to see next. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe.